now matters most. Now matters most. This is part of the head up towards our 13th January Speechcraft program that my company will be conducting. We have done 10 of such live streams over the past 2 weeks in WeChat channels in Mandarin. Since yesterday, I'll be doing about 5 live streams in English. Today being the second one. Now matters most. Now matters most is a theme for today. My objective is to share over 20 to 30 minutes my thoughts on how to prepare oneself to be a public speaker. And I believe you will find applications in other aspects of our life. Now matters most as a Chinese version. It has also got to do with the past. It has also got to do with the future. It goes like this. 对于往事和对于未来，对于往事不回头，对于未来也不放弃。This is the theme for today. Whatever is past, and whatever is coming, we shall not let go. We don't let go because we want to make the best of what we can create for our future. All this sounds like truisms. All this doesn't sound like something we can just keep using to our own benefit. Therefore, I would suggest that let's have a application context to it. I advocate a low-cost, very sustainable way of doing it, which is stepping up onto a stage, whether raised platform or otherwise, like what I'm doing now, just walking along the road and live streaming. Just endless forms in which we can speak in public. I'm in a public space now. I try not to be a nuisance, but I certainly try to be an asset to the people who care about what I say. Now matters most. Once we contextualize it to a public speaking space, we will find that we are in a position to be a present to the people who listen in. Yes, being present here, now, intentional, also allows us to be a present, a gift to other people. So many men would like to think that they are heaven's gift to women. There must be many interpretations to that. And I would suggest that let's broaden it to we are a gift to our audience. Whenever we speak, we do have an audience. It's just a matter of whether it's clear that we have or we don't. It's just a matter of what apparently shows up to be many or that few. But I believe through live stream, through short videos, even long form ones, through every time you open a mouth to speak, we are creating our future by first being a present to the people who listen in anytime. After all, my company CAEC is in the business of running speechcraft programs that support entrepreneurs, business owners, managers, leaders, any one of you out there who seek a breakthrough in your life, and you have indeed identified that being more proficient, effective, efficient in the way we speak and address a public audience, especially strangers, but no stranger to our area of expertise, is going to be an asset. Let me put that in a shorter sentence. You and I now know, so long as you are here finding yourself benefiting from my session, you and I now know that being able to speak in public in a manner that can help other people see solutions in their condition is going to be helpful. And I want to be that help to you in the first place. And I advocate that in order to be a proficient speaker, we need to at least be able to reconcile with our past. Now, I'm not going to go very far back into our childhood or whatsoever. I'm going to just talk about the minutes and days before we open our mouth to speak. Let's really have a context. Let's just really say that you have 3 to 5 minutes to address an audience. And these audience, they are here to listen to you because you are here to address a specific occasion. Could be a birthday, could be a promotion, it could be a new office opening. We all have those moments. It's just to what degree we make the best of those moments to help people see the gift that we're offering them. And it is those moments that is so vital for us not to be encumbered by our past. Which past am I referring to? Well, I'm not talking about childhood trauma, if you happen to have any. It will have a bearing on us, but we're just saying preparation. For every time they open our mouth, including now, this very moment that I'm addressing you, there's a certain degree of preparation, whether we are conscious of it or not. And this preparation can take place 3 minutes before we start, but 10 seconds before we speak. It can also happen days before. Some people even go to the extent, like artists do, that they spend their lifetime preparing for the moment where they speak. I'm fine with all those, but I just want to make it clear that we are all prepared. It's just a matter of extent. And I would say that let's forget the past. 往事不追究. Let's forget the past. 往事不追究, forget the past is, it means to say that let's not be bogged down by whether you're prepared, how prepared you think you are. It's not going to do any good to us at all. And in order to do that, it'd be essential for us not to let slip that we are not prepared. Because nobody knows. In fact, nobody cares how prepared we are. You just want to see that we have something to benefit them. And then today, just like any day that you could open your mouth to speak, we want to be a present to other people. In order to do that well, we need to first forget our past. Thereafter, we can therefore be able to seize the current moment. We would therefore be able to create a future. Future is our reputation. Our reputation precedes us. But every time we speak, we are adding on to that. But so long as we are bogged down by the past, we are unable to let go. We are unable to be ourselves. And in what way are we bogged down? The most obvious way is being too concerned that we are not prepared. The reality is we would never be prepared enough. We will never be prepared enough. We can always be even more prepared. But to what end? To what end? I'm going to share with you some stories about me during my preparation and so on. So I want to share with you stories about me and my preparation. As a child, I've always felt that I'm not cut out to do anything at all. The least of which stand and win a trophy from my mom. Yes, like some of you, I was regarded as a trophy to my parents. That didn't really bother me a lot, except that I really want to do better than what I did before. I'd always have this reason or excuse that I'm not prepared enough. I need to practice more and more and more. So I fell victim to this misconception that we will only do something when we have reached perfection. How would that ever be possible? Reach perfection? You must be joking. We can be on the road to perfection, but we can hardly ever be perfect. It is elusive as much as it is instructive. But that I knew really quite late in life. Because most of those times before I realized that I can never be prepared enough, I went from reason to excuse. But it is just a whole range of inaction. So I never became anywhere closer to perfection. I just became a living excuse to myself. It is only when I have to be thrusted to the world of training and later public speaking and both that I realized that it is not necessary to be deemed perfect or prepared. We never would be, but we can always be preparing. In other words, we can always be producing, just as now I speak with you. To the extent that some of you may be thinking in what way you could speak similarly or according to your own style, It is really a function of what we have been doing all this while. It doesn't matter today if I get a score of 5 out of 10 for this particular session. The reality is we are here for a long haul. And one single battle or session where I score only half of total possible points does not define me. Similarly, even if today I score 9.9 out of 10 here, it doesn't mean I am perfect. Far from it. Because in a long game, all these will be even out very simply. If you take this with you, you might therefore be closer to recognizing, hey, the past doesn't matter because the past is past. It only mattered in that it meant I had done something with every present moment in the past. That's all. And what matters again is now. Therefore, quite impressed with very professional tour managers who tell me that they are only as good as their most current engagement. They are referring to the tour group that they bring. And one of the most notable ones was 30 years ago when I joined a Insight Vacations to Europe. The tour manager, who looks like Hugh Grant, was eloquent, but he was also insightful, telling me that as tour managers, they're only as good or as relevant as the most current project. It makes me felt for the first time a clear and present sense of crisis, urgency. And I brought that to every time I speak. That this may not be my last time speaking, but I'm only as good as I am now. But whatever I've done before, this add up to what I am doing now. But I go the baggage of how I have been. Let me just cite you another example. Close to 4 years ago, when I first joined the Toastmasters movement in Singapore, I joined the Mandarin clubs first. And I joined with only one thing in mind. That was COVID times. I want to make a better use of my screen time. I want to go on Zoom and participate in speech contests and win trophies. I did all of those. And I was evidently pleased with myself. Those trophies I had in my office and my home soon became the shackles. It made me feel more conscious of when I step up. See, every time we are conscious of what we are doing now, on account of what we have done before, that is dangerous. There is a strong signal that we could be encumbered by our past. The Chinese saying is 患得患失,患得患失. I am very conscious of winning. I am also very conscious of losing. And as soon as I'm like that, I can't really win. Yeah, as soon as I'm like that, it is harder for me to win. And soon it was telling that I win less and less. I met a ceiling. The ceiling was something that I imposed onto myself. And that must be sad. How many times have that happened to you? The good thing is we can put a stop to it. Soon I directed my energy into something else that I can be of value. Remember gift? And one way to do that is to translate what we know into other people who need what we know. So while I still take part in contests today, I see I'm creating value in running Speechcraft programs for entrepreneurs, businesses, business leaders, and managers who want to seek a breakthrough in the way they articulate themselves on stage, in particular, to strangers, to people who don't already know them, but expect them to deliver something of substance close to their expertise. Every one of us have expertise. Policemen and housewives who probably hold the most stressful jobs in the world have expertise. It's just a matter of how you would want to translate that to the benefit of everybody else. So I am a doorman, right? I just open doors for people, VIPs and commoners. And because of my devotion to the job, I have certain insights that could be useful to writers, to prime ministers, to housewives and policemen. I just have to understand. And with that comes the belief that all of us have something useful to say. That brings me to the second part of today, which is also the final part. Once we know
why we should let go the baggage from the past, whether it was a glorious past or a difficult one. It is time for us to really seize the moment right now. Carpe diem. Carpe diem. I believe it's Latin, and I first got hold of this phrase in Dead Poet Society. Dead Poet Society is a movie. You can still see it on Netflix or anywhere that you are accustomed to. And in Dead Poet Society, we take away that sense of the moment. It is the only thing we have. We say we have memories, that's the past. What good is it if it doesn't help us make the best of carpe down? Seize the moment. Seize the moment, which is the present. Be intentional, be here. And that's why we can make the best of our future. So today, when I talk about our theme, which is forget the past and embrace the future, now matters most. That is the key conclusion. Now matters most. In the context of public speaking, it is the same as in life. Do not be bogged down by how much preparation you have done so far, whether you're good enough, people want to hear from you at all. Those is past. What matters now, this very moment, is that I'm here and I'm a present to you. We can stop worrying that we are not good enough because people are already here. Even if there are only a couple of people, let's say in my live stream right now, you're valuable to me, and I have every reason to be valuable to you. And in order to be valuable to you, the only way to focus on right here, right now. And the right here, right now is I want to share with you the message which can all take away and practice it. Forget the past, embrace the future by being present. And by being present, I have a message for you which to take away it should be of value. When I say should, I'm giving the expectation in myself and not an obligation to you. And I know that whenever I get up from this man, and therefore to myself, do you want to be of value? Will you give to other people? Do you want to seize every moment you can do that? Do you want to practice? And do you want to train? If you say yes to any or all of those, you have every reason to be present at my Speechcraft program, which will begin the next run next Tuesday, 13th of January, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to hold that right here in Singapore. HSBC Live's agency premises in Grand Trial Hall. You can private message me. All you need to do is just contact me on the top left-hand corner. If you already know me or know how to contact me or our current learners or past learners, by all means contact them and they will point you in the right direction. I have a little link in the Turn document with the course setup and the cost of the course. And we all can be part of the learning team. But whether you join us this round or not, whether you join us at all or not, I still want to be a present to you. And therefore, in the next 2 minutes, I would welcome you to ask any questions that you may have. It is also the same time now. I will look back and see if there are any questions that I can answer. That will happen in the next 2 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for being here, in and out, staying on, and so on. I think it's a wonderful time for us to really part ways just to revisit certain themes that are central to the way we live our lives. Today, I contextualize it onto the stage in which we speak as leaders, business owners, managers, and so on. We all have our expertise. We have something of value to share in our message. But this will only be effective if we are not too bogged down by the past, which are here, in fact, to build us rather than to shackle us. I have talked about my past being a very nervous speaker on stage, never winning any storytelling contest in school, contrary to my mom's wishes. That was okay. I've also shared about how in the COVID years, I won some trophies to vindicate myself. And it doesn't count to a lot of things now that it's past. I want to share with you what I do next Tuesday and the following 3 to 4 consecutive Tuesdays to equip business owners, to equip us with the right speaking skills. So all you need to do is make a friend and just let me know. But I'm doing this not out of any expectations that you will act. You don't have to be nervous like TikTok will now advise me that, hey, you're promoting something not relevant. Who has the right to say that? I think to some extent TikTok has, but to a greater extent you have, because you're the one spending time here in my live stream. Thank you very much, people, for being in my live stream. I just want to acknowledge the people who are still here. There's Qinjie and Desert Liu. And there are others who have come in and out. I am grateful to myself for seizing the moment. And this will be recorded as something that I can revisit. Yeah, I can revisit. And it will be recorded as part of the preheat leading to our Tuesday session coming up soon. I am Terry, and I want to thank you again for being here. And I'm going to end this live stream in 20 seconds. If you'd like to just say hi, just want to follow me, that's all great. I believe I will be back tomorrow, about 9:10 again for half an hour thereabouts. Feel free to throw me any questions that you may have. And it's my pleasure being here. You'll notice that in my TikTok account, I use 本事达人李公子, because the same name I use for the past 4 years. We conduct TikTok lessons for people, beginners, usually business owners. And I'll continue to engage you to the extent that you need me. Even if you don't, I will still continue.